Don't try this at home if you don't know what you're doing. Hello everyone and welcome. Part of living the prepared lifestyle means being able to hunt and having access to those tools, so to speak, that you need to hunt. There may be instances where you won't have access to the resources that you have at home, such as coming home from work in a grid down or disaster type situation, and you may have to make your own hunting tools or implements. Now it's quite easy to make a bow from a tree limb, paracord, this, that, and the other. So that's not what I'm going to do today. Today I'm going to do an urban scavenged bow, and every piece that is in this urban scavenged bow is readily available if you know where to look. As for tools for making this urban scavenged bow, all I'm going to use is my multi-tool and the blades that are in it, and that's it. So let's look at the components and get to building. The components that I'm going to use for this urban scavenged bow are a fiberglass rod, a piece of 1/2-inch PVC pipe, and some, I guess you'd call this 250 paracord. As for tools for making this bow, all I'm going to use is my multi-tool. Now before you start cutting fiberglass, make sure that you're wearing a dust mask, and I'm just going to take my bandana and I'm going to fold it in half and wrap it around my face and use that. So I'm going to take the saw of my multi-tool and cut this end off. As you can see, we're making some way on it. Getting kind of tight up in here now. And I don't want to break this off, so that's why I'm going to try to kind of work it back and forth as far as sawing. There we go. So there's the end cut off, and I'm going to go about 5 feet starting off because I don't know what the draw weight is going to end up as, and I may end up having to shorten this bow to get the draw weight that I want. So I'm guessing that's going to be about 5 feet, and I'm just going to make a mark. Alright, so here we have our bow. Ooh, that's going to be stout. Yeah, that's going to be some poundage behind that, so maybe I won't have to cut any of it. Next up, I'm going to cut down this piece of PVC pipe, and I know normally people, make like a takedown bow out of this, but that's not what I'm going to do. This PVC pipe doesn't really serve any functionality to the bow other than I'm going to use it for like an arrow rest and a handle. I'm going to make it about like that.
Alright, so we got our grip slash rest made, and I'm just going to slide it on the end of it to about the center, and then I'm going to take some pieces of wood and just kind of shim it in there for right now, see if that's how I want it. There we go. And I'm going to do the same thing on the bottom piece of it. That looks like it's going to stay in place pretty good. So next I'm just going to cut some notches in the top and the bottom of my so-called bow to hold the paracord in place. I'm going to tie a loop in my paracord, and I want it to be kind of self-drawing, so we're going to see how this works. Alright, so the bow is now strung, and it took me a couple of times to do it, and I am still not convinced about this paracord. I may end up going with something else, but once I put it to the test, we'll see. It does stretch pretty good, but I'm just not, like I said, not convinced about it. At least we got something to test anyway.
I made me a little arm guard out of some cardboard and cordage, and for the arrows for my first test, I'm actually going to use real arrows because this is already kind of sketchy and unproven. So once I know that it's kind of reliable, I'll do some homemade arrows. So this is the first test of the DIY bow. Don't try this at home unless your spouse is at home with you and he or she is a paramedic. Maybe this won't hurt too bad. The first test with the bow was totally unsuccessful. I couldn't find any accuracy whatsoever. It's got plenty of power, it's just the arrow is everywhere. Tail left, tail right. So I've moved back just a few feet and I've added a little clamp to use the arrow rest to see if that'll help improve the accuracy with it. That's some improvement. I couldn't even hit the target earlier. So maybe we're heading in the right direction with it. There we go. So I'm going to consider that a successful test. I think it's just going to take some practice with it. All right, let's see how far the arrows are going in from that distance. About 6 inches, which is pretty good considering this is just a little rinky-dink handmade deal. Still need to do some more work to it though. So this is going to be test 2 of the scavenged bow at about the same distance with the little mods that I made. On about the 10th time I pulled this bow back, the 250 paracord broke. So I took an upgraded to 550 paracord and then wrapped the tagline with just some cordage that I had. And I also just fixed the rest with some duct tape to kind of keep it in place. Well, at least now they're grouping good together. On the first attempt after making this bow, I couldn't get any accuracy whatsoever. The poundage seemed like it was there, but it just, it was going tail left, tail right. Couldn't get it to hit the target for nothing in the world. And after about the 10th time, the string finally broke. After that, I was just going to consider this a failed build, and with having a hard start on the second attempt, I was ready just to scrap this whole idea altogether. However, when I raised my brace height up and fixed the tag lines on my knots that I tied with that 550 paracord, because they kept trying to jump out every time you pull the bow, things finally started to come together, and I was finally able to get accuracy out of this urban scavenge build bow. It will take practice to keep hitting the bullseye consistently with this type of bow. Now, I did not do arrows for this particular build because that's going to be a video for on down the line. So thank y'all for watching. We'll see y'all next time.